I'm sure in some ways it will. That could be challenging, problematic, challenging, whatever. I think there has to be opportunities, and I'm all for that. I said that in there for the young men to do it, but you still have to find the right guys that want to be a part of a program and invest and still care about the school, the degree, winning championships, becoming great themselves. If the main thing for the player is how much name, image, and likeness can I get, and that's their main priority, then they probably shouldn't come to the University of Virginia and play for me. But there are players that can have that opportunity to come here, develop their game, and go on and play, hopefully win, get a great degree in the process, and have name, image, and likeness opportunities. It's the whole thing. And if it ever ventures from that, then again, I won't be the right person for this position.
Tony, on that same topic, do you have a sense yet, I know it's early, but is there an advantage to being in a smaller town as opposed to a big city where you're competing with NFL, NBA, big fish?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's getting us like, well, there's not as many marketing opportunities. I mean, what's market value? Let's be real. I mean, it's opportunities if people want to help out student athletes, which is great. Is there a market value? There's hardly a market value for NBA players, college players. You know, there's certain things, but you know, I don't know if there's an advantage or a disadvantage being in a smaller town. There's probably less opportunities for name, image, and likeness in some ways, but I guess, you know, it's just people wanting to help, and hopefully, I hope there can be however this goes, a different way that it can be used to make a difference. Like I said, I love it that the guys can put money in their pocket and do things, can't distract from the main things, but man, can there be a way to use this to make a difference in the community, impact, and still honor what you're valuing in your program? I think there is a way, but it's a new time, and you know, you just adjust. No one knows all the answers. You hear the horror stories out there and you wonder, well, is this true or not? And people that have been doing things not the right way in many years past, well, now there's some avenues where it's wired and they can go and do things. That's just part of it. But there's still a place for those guys that want to come, and that's what we'll have to offer. And if it's enough, it's enough. And if it's not, then it's not.
Is offense overrated, Coach?
Is what?
Offense.
Offense overrated? No. No. It's funny, you know, our national championship year, we were number 2 in the country, efficiency or 3. You need both. I mean, I think defensively, you know, it can be an equalizer if you don't have the firepower, but no, I think they're equally important. I don't know if one's more important than the other. You got to be solid at both, but you know, maybe defense can keep you in there a little longer. That's a great question. If you're really poor in offense and you're really good defensively, can you be competitive, or the opposite? So maybe the defensive side would keep you in games more, but you need them both, and that'll be a challenge this year to figure out, all right, what's our strengths? How do we score differently if you don't have the firepower coming back? But you're always surprised. We got some good players, and I'm hopeful that we'll be able to find ways, but it'll look different for sure.
Tony, did you ever play against Hubert Davis in the league or?
Yes. Wait a second. Give me his years.
See, I don't remember.
I think
he came out of Carolina in '92.
Yeah, we did. Wow, I'm sorry. He played well. I feel like he played with the Knicks, and we played him maybe in the playoffs. My rookie year, '93. He was good. Hubert is. You talk about a quality man who's about the right stuff. I've got great respect and admiration for what he stands for, who he is. He was a heck of a player. And I'm trying to remember, we did play against each other. I'm sure he remembers all of our games. I was just this dominant guy. No, I'm just kidding. I wasn't. But I'm sure, yeah, because we played him. I do, and he could shoot. And he's the kind of player that some guys I've had, you know, that can move without the ball, shoot and score. But for sure, I did.
What do you expect out of the changing of the guard there in Carolina? I mean, do you still expect to see the same Carolina staples? Like, how do you?
We'll find out soon enough. No idea. I know, like I said, he'll do things the right way with quality, with respect for his players. But as far as, you know, his plan, that's the beauty of being a head coach. It's your time. You do it your way. It's your system with your staff, and you figure out a way. So I'm not sure. I mean, you always look at your personnel and say, how do I need to play? But I know they made a very strong hire, and I know he's going to influence guys in the right way.
Will there be any surprises among your three-point shooters?
Any surprises? I hope there's a bunch of them. So no,
You've had some very good three-point.
Yeah,
last year you had the big bench.
Yeah, no, it was great how well you used to see Sam and Trey shoot it, and Jay could stretch the floor, and that's where we got our shooting. Those three are gone. Armand Franklin is coming, and he shot over 40 for Indiana. And as I mentioned, Kihei's been working at it hard, and just guys that they have to have the freedom. Guys that have worked on it. Reese has worked on it, and we'll have to again score in different ways. But it won't be a team that's going to spray up 30, 40 threes, and we could win by shooting people out of the gym. There'll be games you'll shoot it well, and there'll be games that you'll struggle. So that's where you find out how do we impact the game and win in different areas. I think we can get on the glass. I think we can do some things. We got some good guards off the pick and roll, and impact the game in other ways.
Reese feel he's a pretty good three-point shooter, could be.
I think he's improving. I don't think that's his MO right now. I think he's getting. I want him to shoot the open shot. He's never going to force. He's
He had
worked
one
hard
big
on his
three-pointer
form.
last year.
He sure did. He had a huge one against Syracuse, and that was it in that game. But he'll be an opportunistic shooter. But you want them to be the threat, and I'm sure people will challenge our guys. All right, let's see and test you, and you'll see different kinds of defenses, and then you adjust accordingly.
What kind of moment like that like Reese had in Greensboro, what can that do for somebody's confidence? Because you also mentioned parenthetically how well he played in Bloomington.
Yeah.
I mean, was there carryover?
I hope so. That's the thing. I challenge him to take that step. Again, he's only a sophomore in his second year here, but he has to, and we need that. So, you come to get that opportunity as a player, and he's unassuming, but he competes on the court. He's kind of soft-spoken off, but he has the ability to impact this game, and we're going to need him. That will be his challenge to, step across the line aggressively, still maintaining himself. And I think he had great playing time. He had moments of success where he could do some things, and now I think the games will dictate that. But I'm pushing him and challenging him. Be aggressive, touch the paint.
Was coming here.
Yeah, for sure.
Something like that.
Yeah, absolutely. I wanted that for Caden. Two younger guys. I mean, they're both really in their second year of playing. Caden really is in his true first year because of redshirting and not being healthy last year with some illnesses. But I think putting these guys, in front of you, if they can handle you guys, then they can handle it. But I think it's all part of the maturing and being in front. And it's great to be here. So I wanted them to have this experience.
Hey, Tony, Justin McCoy has already made an impression on the guys at Carolina. They said he's bringing a different kind of level of intensity defensively.
Yep.
I was just curious what kind of a presence he had in your program.
Yeah, no, Justin was, I wish all our guys would have stayed, but Justin, his strength was his activity and his energy. And so I can certainly understand that. And, I thought he would have had a great opportunity, but he should help them, and I hope he's with us 2 years. Hopefully we taught him some things and poured in him, just like I'm going to benefit from what Armand Franklin learned from Archie at Indiana, and Coach Dooley influenced Jaden Gardner. So when you get a guy that's got some 2 years under his belt, there's some experience there. So I would expect nothing less, because that's how Justin plays, and he was coming for us at the end of the year, and again, he made a decision to move on, but that doesn't surprise me at all, because I think he can do that.
Coach, do you have any, whether it's childhood memories or early memories of beating Coach K at a young age, and kind of how that influenced you?
I don't know if Coach K will appreciate that childhood memories. I
think it goes way pretty back with Dad, right?
Yeah, no. I mean, Coach, you just, obviously, I got to play when I was, my first experience meeting Coach K is I was on the USA Pan American team with Grant Hill and Christian Leitner. We were teammates, and Gene Cady was the coach, but Coach K came in when we were preparing for that. We played in Havana, Cuba, and he spoke to the team, and that was the first time that I heard him present. He gave us kind of a motivational speech, and I remember, wow, this is Coach K, man, what a reputation, and I remember how passionate he was. And I remember asking Grant and Christian, I said, is that how he always is? They're like, oh yeah, that's him. I mean, he was fired up. He's like, this is how you go get a gold medal. unfortunately we got the bronze, but that's because Jimmy Jackson got hurt. I still know that in that game, but that was my first impression. I'm like, wow. And then, obviously what I've enjoyed with Coach K is getting to know him. Sure, we coach against each other and all that, but through those meetings and all that, just getting to spend some time individually and how he's impacted the game. I said Bobby Knight influenced the game in my father's generation of coaches, and I think Coach K has that influence, and he's lasted. And that memory was probably that one when I was going into my senior year at Wisconsin Green Bay. It was that summer in West Lafayette. In Purdue, I was there because Coach K, and he came and talked to the team and talked about how you can't be one way. He used the hand analogy. You can't be one way. You got to come together like a fist to knock down the wall because the gold medal's on the other side. And he said, if you go about this as a USA as a bunch of one-way guys, you can't do it. You got to be combined together, and you better come as a fist and knock that out. So I remember him saying that. I'm like, that's right. And I remember the passion in which he said it, and that's when I said to Grant was my roommate. I was like, man, I was like, he's like, no, that's Coach. So kind of cool.